All good integrated development environments for Java provide debugging capabilities, the ability to set breakpoints, and to watch variable values so that you can find out where errors are occurring in your code. I'll demonstrate how to do this in IntelliJ IDEA in the debugging project. This project has just a few lines of code. I'm declaring a string value. I'm then getting a character array from the string, and then I'm stepping through the character array using a for loop, and I'm outputting one character at a time. When I run the application, I see the string displayed vertically, one character per line. But now, I'm going to step through the code one line at a time. I'm going to add a breakpoint. I'll click once, to the right of my line numbers if they're displayed, but to the left of the code. And I see a breakpoint icon displayed. If I move the cursor off the icon and then back again, I'll see some useful information about it. Now, to run the code and hit the breakpoint, I'll run in debug mode. You can do this from the menu by choosing Run, Debug Main, or you can click the debug icon on the toolbar. Either way, when you get to the breakpoint, your application is suspended, and a debug window opens at the bottom of the screen with a Debugger tab and a Console tab, and you can click back and forth between these to see what's happening. Now, to step through your code one line at a time, click the Step Over icon, and each time you click through, you'll be running the code. Now, as variables are being set, you'll be able to see their values in a couple of different ways. Notice that the value of welcome is now displayed to the right of the code. That's being generated by IntelliJ IDEA. You can also move your cursor over the variable, and after a moment, you'll see the value displayed there as well. You can also add a variable to the Watches window. I'll select the variable by double-clicking it, then I'll right-click on it, and I'll choose Add to Watches down here. And that adds that variable to my Watches window, and if there are any changes to the variable, I'll see it here. While I'm at it, I'll also add the variable Cars to my Watches window. Again, I double-click that value to select it, and then I'll add to Watches, and I'll do the same thing for the variable I. You can even debug full expressions. I'll select the string Cars, open bracket, I, close bracket, and I'll add that expression to my Watches view. If an expression can't yet be evaluated, you'll get a message to that effect. But now, as you step through your code, as the expressions are filled in, you'll see them update down here. Now I'll step over a couple more times. When I click once, my Cars array is initialized. I'll move the cursor over the array, and I see the little pop-up appear, and then I can click on the plus icon and see the items within the array. I can also see that information down here in the Watches view. Now I'll step through the for loop. Again, I'll use step over for this, and each time I step over, the value of I is updated, and the value of Cars, open bracket, I, close bracket is also updated. I'll step a couple more times and see the value updated again. Now, I'm going to add another breakpoint. This will be on line 11, where I'm outputting the current character. Then I'll right-click on the breakpoint, and a pop-up appears, and I'll set the condition to I == 7. So I'm setting a condition, and I'm saying only suspend my code when this condition is true. I'll click Done. Then down here, I'll click on this left pointing arrow, and that's the Resume Program button. And this time, I'll continue executing my code until I has a value of 7. I'll verify that over here in the Watches view, and I'll see that the value of Cars I is the exclamation mark. That's the character that's at that index position. Also notice now that all the variables are displaying their values in the code window. If you want to interrupt your debugging session, you can click on the Stop button down here. And then all that information goes away, and the Watches view still shows the items you're watching, but it doesn't show any values. If you want to clear out your Watches view, select all of your watches and click on the minus icon. And then you can get rid of your breakpoints, and you're back where you started. So those are some tips about how to debug your Java code using IntelliJ IDEA. Again, if you're using another IDE, the steps will be a little bit different, but the features should work pretty much the same for NetBeans, Eclipse, and other full-blown integrated development environments.